Before we begin today's video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, click on the bell, and change it to all settings. Alright guys, we're gonna head out for the night hunt now. We got a whole bunch of chopped up filming for today, so I don't know how we're gonna put this in sequence that it makes a video style format, but basically what had happened is Marcia had to work today, so she was late coming out. I'm not on shift right now, so I was able to come out right away, which I did. And so I come out right away. I spotted a couple deer. We went on the spot and stalk. I got my stuff all set up. Most of it was still here from a previous camp I did. You guys will see a video on that, although I don't think it'll be the world's best video. But I got everything set up. Processed some firewood. Got some stuff over by the fire because I knew it would be late tonight by the time we got back to make supper and stuff, since we are going for a big game hunt. Now what's going to happen is Marcia's going to go over by the tree stand that you had seen earlier today when we stalked over in that general direction to try to find them deer. I don't know how much luck she's going to have because we were over there and they got spooked off. But she elected she wanted to go that way. So what I'm going to do is go the complete opposite direction. And I'm going to go to the tip of the bush line, try to find a spot where I can hunker down in there and find some natural cover and just sit and be quiet, and hopefully I will have something come out to me. This is as good a shot as any, but that's the plan anyways that we are going for. I don't know how I'm going to put this together in a video that you guys want to watch, but that's the tricks of YouTube, I guess. So stick around. I've got my big Sony camera that I'm going to bring. I've also got the GoPro on the end of the Chiappa, though I don't know how good a footage it'll get because whatever we're going to be attempting to harvest will be quite a ways out there. So it's not like shooting small game that you can get right up close to it. I'm still going to have to be relatively close to it for the caliber and stuff that I am using. Extra careful here because something might be out already. But yeah, we're going to attempt to make a go at it with those filming devices and see whereabouts we get to, I guess. Here I thought I found the absolute ideal spot right on the edge of the cut block. However, generally when this happens, there's one big issue. That it creates a crater when the roots pull all the dirt out of the ground. I don't want to be sitting in that for hours. Gonna have to keep looking, or maybe use some of these sticks, which may be an option too, to build myself a bit of a raft underneath there quickly.
Hello, it's Marcia with Family Outdoors. I'm just out in the tree stand waiting for a buck to come out. Hope we get something tonight. Here's my view from the tree stand. Hopefully some deer come out and we can get some footage of that.
So this is a little temporary blind that I had fashioned together here. Put these logs across where the water is. Got the big root. Put a couple sticks across here for a shooting rest. And then I've got a couple bigger logs going across this side in case something comes from that angle. This is the cut block where we're going to be hunting over. That's one. It's definitely hit. I seen it go down in the block over there. We got our work cut out for us tonight. Gonna have to call in the reinforcements. So what I decided to do, I'm not too terribly far away from where camp is. I'm gonna swing around and grab the quad and take the old logging road around the outside of the block and just leave this guy sit for a bit. That way I won't, ooh, puffballs. That way I won't spook him up. I don't want him to get up and run. Right now he's in an easy spot for us to retrieve with the equipment that we have. And we have a lot of work ahead of us. We don't want to get pushing this thing out into the cut block somewhere where we'll never frickin' get it, or where it'd be hard for us to retrieve it. So we're going to use our head, and we're going to I hear her quad started now. Marcia might have heard the shot and she might be coming along. So we have the crew out, including Izzy. Let this thing bed down here for a bit now. Not sure exactly where it is here, but here somewhere in this part of the cut block. Hopefully, Izzy's nose is horrible. It's right there. Izzy's happy with her find. What a crap ton of excitement tonight. So we've been hunting all day. You guys seen the footage of stalking the deer earlier that didn't quite pan out. Then we come back to camp. Marcia showed up and we got her established kind of in the tent there with a mountain of stuff and headed back out for the night hunt. You guys seen footage there of what exactly transpired during the night hunt, but I guess all that matters is we were successful. And we harvested a deer there and using the Shiop M6. Very happy. We got it all on film. We're super excited about it. How did your night hunt go?
I saw nothing up in my tree stand. And then I heard shots, so then nothing came over to me.
So what are you shooting here?
A buck.
You're shooting for a buck. What are you using to shoot it with?
My crossbow.
So here, unless you have a bunch of approval stuff, whatever, big process, you can use your crossbows during rifle season and harvest your animals with that particular item. We didn't choose our fancy scoped items and whatnot for this camp because, in all honesty, we just didn't want to drag it out in the bush and knock the scopes out and all the rest of it. So here we are, we're out here with what we got and we're successful. So we're really happy with that, but we need to get a fire going here and get some smoke going on this. So we got this little guy splayed out over across our smoking stand up here, spread right out so the cavities are all open. We can get as much airflow as we can, and we got to get the fire going here and get some smoke going that prevents the bacteria and whatnot from growing. So we're going to get on that right away here. We don't want the meat to spoil or anything like that. There's Izzy. Oh, she's so excited and dirty. She's gonna smell like a pork chop now.
like? That's not all
Yeah, in the side pouch of my bag.
How do you want to cook the grouse? Making some supper now, some potatoes, some corn, some grouse. Just slicing up the potatoes.
It's a beautiful sunset again. One of the best spots about this camp here is just watching the sun go down. Generally we camp in so thick a bush that you couldn't see the sunset if you tried. There's the ranger, there's Izzy. Got the deer smoking away up there. Fire. Beautiful wife. Alright, it took a while, but we got supper on here. We got a couple of grouse, corn in the billy can, and we got some potatoes sitting down below just getting warm by the fire there. We got the BioLite 620 solar home out with us again. As you guys can see, that's what's providing us some light. I apologize we haven't filmed much today, but it was late getting out here and we went straight out for the hunt. Got lucky, we got something, so that's a big time consumer there that I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube, so we didn't film any of the processing and skinning, gutting, that kind of stuff like that. But yeah, here we are, we got supper on. Once we get supper made, we have a bit of time to ourselves and get a chat and reminisce about how our days were and all that kind of good stuff. We'll come back to you guys and we'll give you a rundown how everything went and have some general conversation. I think the Yodis are going to be quite vocal tonight. With the smell of a fresh kill on the horizon, they're going to be extra into it.
Yep.
Yeah. So, here's supper. I don't know if you guys can see that. We got corn, grouse, potatoes. Time to eat. It's been a long day. You know what's best though? We got spices. How's your meal?
Good.
There's only one way to do it in the woods, and that's caveman. If we didn't bring so much food, we'd be having the tenderloins out of that little deer, but unfortunately, or fortunately, depending which way you look at it, we've got plenty of food. No need to live off the squirrel. Huh. She got Doc. Well, that's crappy. Huh. I can't see anything. Told you the coyotes would come.
Good morning.
Spit her out of ya.
Due to technical difficulties, we're going to bed. Because it's dark and he's scared of all the coyotes that will come and eat the dinner.
This is why we can't script YouTube. What she means to say is, due to some technical difficulties with our lighting system, the BioLite 620 Solar Home, we will not be able to film anymore for the rest of the night. But we'll come right back to you in the morning. So I hope you guys enjoyed episode 1 of our wild camping series, Husband and Wife.
That's what I meant by good morning. And we're going to bed.
I think she wants to make some baby woodsmen. So we'll get back to you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Them some coyotes. Right, honey?
You're gonna sing us to sleep, my love.
Sing us to sleep while we're making wood babies.
That's correct. Woodsman.
Wood babies. Out of wood. Like whittling. Because that's what we do in the tent. Good night.
So, we're out this morning and got the fire going and everything, got the water boiled to make some coffee, and that's when we discovered that we only have 1 cup because
I just rolled it out of bed, out of my 2 comfy sleeping bags, after a wonderful night. And he only has 1 coffee cup.
because he come prepared for himself.
Oh, he said, I'll have everything ready for you, honey.
I'd like to remind everybody this is the first time she's come out on a trip with me in like 2 years, so
How wonderful it is to have her here, and I should have brought her a coffee cup.
Anyways, morning. This is day 2. Izzy's over yonder there. She doesn't want to go far from where all the buzzards and stuff are circling. You guys heard a lot last night. The coyotes. There's a lot of coyotes. The ravens really rolled in hard this morning. Oh, I should do this too. We're still smoking away up top there. So what are we up to today?
I think we're gonna go for a chicken hunt.
Started off with the chicken hunt. See where that brings us.
Gotta find my second sock. Only have one. Just like the coffee cup.
And locate the missing sock. We're not sharing my sock.
Somewhere in all the blankets.
On it! Nothing special for lunch. Just made up some rice and strips of venison. Got the deer up in the tripod now. You can see what I was talking about with using the T-handle there as a gimbal. Same technique I used to hang my gear bag and everything else. Bowline on one end, marlin spike hitch on the other with the T-handle through it, and then through the ligaments of the animal's hind legs. Alright guys, we're going to set to work on this deer now. Now basically all we're going to be doing is deboning it, taking the blocks, putting them somewhere to keep cool and stuff till we can go home and put them in the freezer. Now there are plenty ways to do this. Obviously the way I'm going to do is the way that I know. It was taught to me by a neighbor friend of mine. So let's get to it. First of all, when I do my wild game, I get rid of all the fat possible. For this, we're using the Cold Steel Bushman. Again, when I go out, I use the same knife for everything. So all that was is a great big strip of fat. Takes a little bit of carving, but you'll be thankful that you did it. You can see now, when you look at your meat, if it'll turn, it's nice and clean. So when I do this, I find this ankle bone right here, right there. Stick your knife in and just follow along the knuckle all the way till you hit the leg bone. Then just follow along the leg bone all the way down till you hit the knuckle. Then you just keep working your blade down and remove that in one block of meat. So then that is what you were left with, one block. From this point now we set it on the cutting table and we just kind of clean it up. So now that that block's off, we go back to the knuckle where we started, and this time we go the opposite way. Go into the knuckle, up, around, down, right around to the knuckle on the other side, making sure we cut right to the bone. Then we just got to follow along that leg bone on either side. And once we've got that carved around, you go from here up to the tailbone, just like that. Now this part can get a little bit tricky and unclean. You got to be very careful because you're cutting along the hip bone, or the pelvic bone, I should say. And you take off that big block, When you open it up, you can see it's got the membranes. That's where you divide into your different roasts. But that again, that all happens on the processing table. I'm going to clean up inside here. And remove the tenderloins. If this was a survival situation, obviously you would save all the internal fat and stuff. That'd be very good to render down, make into lard, stuff like that. Alright. So now we've got those 2 blocks of meat squared away. Again, I'm going to try to remove this fat. Sometimes it's easier to do this stuff while it's hanging as opposed to on the table. My buddy Owl Cabin, who makes all this stuff look easy, he's probably laughing at me right now. So now, what I try to do, and I've never been good at this part, but you try to find the edge of the spine, and you just cut along it. All the way down. You can go right into the neck if you want. Now, I remove the front shoulder. That's all there is to that. Big stick we used to prop open the body cavity last night. I'll remove the second tenderloin since I'm over on this side. So there that is. I know it looks really dark, but that's, keep in mind that's because we had it on the smoke all night. So consider it smoked meat at this point. What you've got to do is try to get in there at the perfect angle and follow along for the ribs. And like I said, I've never been any good at this part. See, this is what I meant by I'm not good. See how much I missed here? But that's your back strap. You guys have seen me eat lots of these out in the woods. This is a smaller deer too, so the cuts don't seem massive. Well, that's basically it. That's your quarter of a deer. This part you don't want to do till the end because it's still suspending the weight of the animal, but you take your back haunches here, you salvage those, and then strips in between your rib meat. But I don't know if you guys, there's not much point having you guys watch me do that. I mean, it's just literally cutting in between the rib cages, right? And we generally use that stuff for like hamburger, sausages, stuff like that where you can kind of hide it. You got to be very careful with it because it's so full of fat. A lot of people really do not like it. Oh, I'm not going to go any further with the filming. You basically got the gist of it. That's one half of the deer. The parts I didn't do, I told you why I didn't do them or when that I would do them. Now we're going to just shut the camera off and get this done. Alright guys, that's it. That's all that's left. We're going to dispose of the carcass now in a spot where we can go back and utilize the bones at our convenience. Good stuff.
So we just finished cutting up the deer. It was a big job for a little deer. Now we're gonna go collect some firewood. So we have a big fire all night.
Well guys, we haven't chatted much or did much filming today. We went out on a hunt this morning and even our filming with that was pretty lazy, although I think we did manage to get a shot of every time we attempted to harvest an animal, but not very much filler footage or walking back and forth to get the camera today. But I wanted to stop briefly and just comment on two items here, one of which is the Shiop M6. I really hope that this video series in between yesterday and today really demonstrate the versatility of the Shiapa with so many different rounds that you can use, so many different calibers. I mean, you got every gauge for your shotgun. You got 12 gauge, 20 gauge, 410. You got pistol calibers like 9mm, 45. There's so many I don't even remember them all, but you can shoot the 12 gauge slug. Like, I mean, this particular style of survival rifle is absolutely incredible in the fact that it gives you so many options, so many different types of ammo that you can come across that work with this gun. And you can see it is very functional from yesterday's video and today's video. We harvested, you know, everything with this Shiapa, from squirrel, grouse, deer. Absolutely incredible survival rifle. And I just wanted to take the time to put it out there. Like, if you are truly looking for a survival rifle, this is it. You have seen here yourself firsthand, it does exactly that. I'm a little disappointed. I took a look at the footage of me harvesting the deer. Oh, it stayed on frame 98% of it, and then right before I shoot, I must not have had the little screw thing on the tripod tight enough, and the camera lifted ever so slightly, but it was enough to bugger up a perfect scene into like a what the heck just happened scene. You can still kind of see the upper portion of the deer and whatever, and like its head. You get the gist of what's going on, but not nearly as cool as it would have been. But you can most definitely tell that animal was harvested with the Shiop M6. Fantastic rifle. Yeah. Now the other product that I wanted to talk about is the Cold Steel Bushman Bowie. You seen my son Cameron do a pretty cool review on this. I wanted to give this knife a big shout out and suggest it to anybody, because I have used this particular knife for everything from processing food, bushcraft, gutting, skinning, processing wild game, everything from deer, grouse, squirrels, you name it. This knife does everything, and it does everything surprisingly well. It just honestly really is a terrific piece of kit. Oh, I've used it to carve a turkey too. One of the best carving knives I've ever used for carving turkey. Well, actually it was a wild goose, I believe, but whatever, same thing. really like it. I mean, cold steel, everybody knows cold steel makes good stuff, so why would this be any different? But I really wanted to give a big extra shout out to the Cold Steel Bushman Bowie. Absolutely fantastic product. No, Cold Steel doesn't sponsor me. I wish they did, but they don't. Really, pick one up. They're cheap. Like, this is a budget bushcraft knife. I think it's like $39 Canadian. It is extremely cheap, and I guarantee you, you will not regret it. I've used this thing from -35 to above 30 degrees Celsius. It doesn't matter. It handles all weather conditions. You baton with it. It's full tang, right down, strikes your ferro rod. Watch Cameron's video. He shows you the only 2 complaints that ever have come about from this knife and how quickly they can be fixed. Yeah, just wanted to take the time to say 2 products, absolutely fantastic. Preppers, bushcrafters, anybody who's into the outdoor wilderness living, get these. Just get them. The Shiop M6 and the Cold Steel Bushman Bowie. You can't go wrong. Only thing that would be cooler if I could somehow attach this like a bayonet on the end, and no, I'm just kidding, come on. Alright guys. Ugh. Yeah. I'm starting to get too old for this crap. So our priorities for this camp have kind of shifted a little bit. We had planned to come out here and hunt basically, which was great, except for on our first day here, we happened to get one. So now priorities have shifted completely. Marcia has taken the deer back and she's going to go throw it in a freezer and all that kind of stuff. I suggested that there's other ways we could preserve it, but she wanted to go run it back and just have it dealt with. She's not quite as comfortable with the more primitive ways as I am, but that's just life, right? I mean, it's not a big deal. But with the shifting of priorities, I'm not going to go out for a big game hunt tonight. I've got my rifle with me now. I'm going for a bit of a jaunt, but I'm looking for something completely different. I'm heading over to a spot where I had my, what was that video called? Solo Polish Lavu camp with cold steel cutting tools. And I had found a plethora of bones and whatever like that. That's where I got my scapulas from. And anyways, I wanted to come back out because there was rib bones and a whole bunch of other kind of bones, and see if I couldn't utilize some of them to make myself like fleshing tools so that I can start to deal with this hide in some capacity. So I am going for a walk and just having a look around. I don't remember exactly where the stuff was or anything like that, but just to see if I can find any of that stuff and take it back to utilize it. So that's currently the reason why we are out stumbling around. I mean, if an opportunity presents itself to further ourselves again, that's what we're gonna do. But I mean, we've so far on this trip, like on a single day, we've harvested a lot of food here so far. I mean, we've got, I don't even remember how many grouse we've got. I know we got 3 today. I don't remember about yesterday, to be honest, if we got grouse or not. have to look back through the old footage. But we got that deer, we got grouse. I was out on a camp just prior to this, a solo camp, out in the same spot. And I harvested some grouse and squirrels then too. So we're definitely getting our fill of food here, which is good. It takes a lot to feed a family of 4 for 365 days. But right now, let's hope we can find something that we can utilize here. Alright guys, so I got the rib bone I was talking about. I picked up one of them. The one with semi-flattest end on it. So basically all you do is lay your hide over a log. It should be a solid log. This one's a bit punky, but... And then you just keep working it along like that. And you'll see how it is peeling everything off the hide, but it's not damaging the hide. And you just keep working it like that. Takes some work, but it does the job. Jump to the other side so I'm not blocking your view here. I know it doesn't seem like I'm making progress, but if you flip these up, you can see that I am. It's a little tricky towards the edge of the hide. We've got it all fleshed now. It's a pretty crude fleshing job, but I mean, that's using an old rib bone and a lot of elbow grease. You guys can see, hopefully maybe, how I've got that kind of sharpened like a, almost like a chisel. Well, after doing that hide and stuff there today, I'm feeling a bit more primitive. So I think what we're going to do for supper tonight, we're going to heat up this big rock by keeping the fire real close to it, and it'll radiate the heat into the rock, and we're going to use that rock to cook. See how it goes? We come up with this oven style concept by turning, ooh, it's a little warm, by turning my billy can upside down on top of the potato on top of the hot rock. Now the hot rock is getting quite warm towards the edge where the fire is. I have no doubt at all that'll easily cook a steak. Potatoes take a bit more time, so we just got it in there, and every now and then I'll give it a, just wing it around to roll the potato around, but keeping the lid on it so it essentially gives it the oven effect. Marsha's back now. How was your time?
It was great. Thanks for asking. Me got the big wood. Can I just put this guy on now?
He's in the way of throwing the rest down.
The two big long ones in these low.
So the potatoes are taking a damn long time. There's no other way to put it. Our back strap is good and smoked. What we're gonna do is lay them on this hot rock in two pieces. So we got the steaks on here on the rocks. I don't know if you guys can hear them sizzling away or not. Potatoes still underneath there doing God knows what. Yeah. They're doing their thing. Oh, they're coming along. Nice pieces of meat for sure. We've shifted the potatoes over to this other rock, just so we could get more surface area for the steaks right close to the hotter edge. So there's supper, steak, potatoes. Oh. Not much, but so we mustered today. Primitive stone cooking.
Good. Okay.
Ooh, that steak is really good. back strap is amazing. That was a long day. Got the deer processed, went out for a long hunt, fleshed the hide, ground up the meat.
Got her in the freezer.
Yeah, I think that's enough for one day, guys. We're gonna kick off to bed. I don't think every video needs to be an hour long. So this is it for the filming. We're gonna shut it off, just enjoy each other's company for a bit and go to bed.
Jeez.
What were you singing?
Just some campfire songs.
Why don't you give us a listen?
Because nobody except for you wants to hear that.
Alright, let's go.
No. You go.
No, seriously, I was trying to sing in the rain last time and nobody would sing with me.
It's not raining.
Well, we can sing by the campfire.
Yeah, not tonight.
Why?
Because I already did that. Thanks for asking. Maybe next time. Good morning. Here we are making the bacon. After a long night's unsleeping. Thanks to Izzy. And the coyotes. Only way to make it better is with bacon. Thanks. Come again.
Alright guys, so rough morning after a rough night, but we're getting it together here. Just having our morning coffee, getting breakfast going. We got bacon. We have this new fancy twig burner stove here. This one come highly recommended from Sean over there at 618 Bushcraft. So we thought we'd give it a try here. The big negative to this thing that I can tell you right off the start was that it was covered in that blue film, which was an absolute nightmare to get that stuff off there. But thanks to Cameron and Marcia who tackled that job. But we've got it preloaded here with sticks like you can see. And we're going to fire it up just by using a lighter, lighting these small twigs underneath, and it should pull through it and light relatively easy. Then what we're going to use this one for is once we got a good coal base established in there, we're going to make our toast on here. We've got the bacon going over here, as you guys can see already. And get my fancy stir stick. And then we're going to, once the bacon's closer to being cooked, we'll throw some eggs on in the frying pan and we'll get those going up too. So we'll have a big breakfast here in the woods today. So what do you got on the go today?
Gotta fix my bed because it feels like I'm sleeping on a mountain side. It's a little uncomfortable. I want to do some hunting and get something with my bow.
You gotta love the coffee in the morning. Izzy was up all night being a protector of the everything. She snapped one of her leashes clean off and took off running around in the night, but she did come right back when we called her, so it was just more of a minor inconvenience. At 20 after 1 in the morning, Marcia went and grabbed the spare leash out of the Ranger and got Izzy tied back up. Yeah, it was fun stuff. So, how was making Baby Woodsman?
No baby woodsmen were made. Thanks for asking.
Okay.
You're gonna get beat one day. Your eyebrows are much more expressive than mine.
So I think it's about time I want to fire this up so these twigs can be made into coals before we're ready to put the toast on. So I'm going to just give it a quick little light here. Hopefully that'll continue to burn its way up through and it'll get the desired effect we're looking for. You can see the bacon's looking pretty darn good. Keep it just kind of slowly cooking away on the main fire. Well, it looks like this is pulling through now. I don't know if you guys can see down through all that, but she's making an effort anyway. Definitely not a gasifier stove. Although with how damp everything is, even a gasifier stove would probably smoke like that till everything got good and hot. But you see the flames pulling through really nice now. So far I'm impressed. I mean, it lit fairly easy. I mean, you don't get any lazier than sticking a lighter underneath some twigs, right? There's no real special preparation, just packed it full of twigs and stuff. It seems to be drawing really nice from underneath and pulling up through it. Hopefully it'll make some nice hot coals. Should pan up and show you guys how high them flames are leaping up there. That's quite a bit of flame on a little tiny twig stove there. So yeah, she's burning pretty darn good. I'm gonna bust up some more twigs to throw in now. So we can get ourselves a nice coal base in there. Maybe give the bacon another quick stir. There you go. So this is using the door to load the fuel into it, which it is kind of handy, like if you're cooking stuff on top, to not have to pull everything off, just to drop a few twigs into it. Basically all I'm trying to do is get some coals going in here. We just want to have some built up heat in there. Yeah, right there. That handle does get a tiny bit warm on there, this little ring. You guys can really see the burn on that though. Like, I mean, that sucker puts out pretty good. Might as well heat my coffee while I'm waiting for that to burn down. And then we're gonna grab some toast, throw it on there. The eggs are ready to go in, the bacon's darn near done. Start with our toasting now. Oh, do you got a butter knife? Do you want to drop that in the butter? It's pretty warm. It doesn't take long. You want to keep lifting it right off the start so that it doesn't, otherwise the bread will stick to the grate.
Sure.
Now, guys, kind of in a race to beat time when you're doing this. I want to throw that one back on because I wasn't quite prepared enough with the butter when I started, and I want it to melt nice. See how the bread tries to stick? That's it. Our eggs, bacon, toast in the woods. So we got it on. Again, we fired it back up, put the water on. We just want to see how long it's going to take to boil that 4 quarts and have some more hot water for coffee. She does pretty good, this little stove here. I'm actually pretty impressed with it and how small it folds down and packs away. It's light, it's way lighter than my firebox. We'll see how she holds up in the long run. Alright guys, let's have a look at some of the camp improvements this time. For this one, we added the big tripod there with the T-handle to hang game, big game that we get out here. And we showed you that in use on day 2 when we deboned the deer that we had harvested, the whitetail deer, the day before. During that time, we also put our smoking rack into play, and we used that to splay the deer across to keep smoke on them, because it's so warm that just hanging them alone isn't going to be enough. Of course, we still have our table, our bench, our chopping block. This time we elected to go with this, I don't even know what you call this configuration, but using the AquaQuest Safari tarp. Absolutely love the AquaQuest tarps. As you can see, this shelter is plenty big, plenty roomy. I mean, we got everything from filming gear in there to lots of our just personal gear, our clothes, all that kind of stuff, our sleeping equipment. You can see it's massive. Like, there is a ton of room in there. We even got room for a big stump. And of course, all our table there with all our goodies on it and different stuff. We also hung additional ridge lines and stuff. I was out here for a camp where it was just pouring rain. I was hoping it was going to turn into snow. And I put in the ridge lines and stuff there for the tarp above the fire. Honestly, it's just nice to have that dry area to just stay by the fire if you choose. You don't get tent bound or tarp bound, something like that. So yeah, this is where we're sitting at with everything. So a couple additions with the tripod and T-handle. We're going to have some more additions in the future. I'm going to leave that for them videos, but there's a few things that I figured out would be really handy for this location if we continue making these style of videos. Now with that, if you guys think we should keep making these style of videos, the hunting, the harvesting, the living off the land, you know, wild camping style videos, just leave that down in the comments. Let us know. Anyway, I think I'm going to head out now with Izzy to go do a bit of a hunt. I'm just absolutely pooched. I've got no gumption to me. With all the commotion last night with Izzy, you know, being woken up and then awake periodically after that throughout the night, I just didn't get very much sleep. Pretty sure I'm dehydrated. I'm going to go make my way back to camp and get some water into me. Izzy is very protective of her food sources. One of the problems, or what's been causing most of the problem, is she has drugged every bit of everything that she can throughout the duration since we harvested that deer and cleaned it away from camp. She's been slowly dragging it back piece by piece, which is why the coyotes are so riled up close last night as compared to the first night when you heard them off in the distance. So yeah, she's getting the full workout here with the crows and magpies and whiskey jacks, all the scavenging birds, as well as at nighttime all the other scavengers that are more nocturnal, like the coyotes and stuff like that, that are, you know, coming to try to get their fair share. And she was irate to the point last night that she, you know, pulled on that cable leash hard enough that she actually broke the cable. And I mean, not anybody who has a dog, you know how strong them 3/16 cables are. There's a lot of strength to that. But when Izzy wants something, Izzy goes to get something. That's the way she is. We don't tie her up during the day, only at night now. And that's exactly why. If she was able to run free, she'd be all over the country. She'd either be trying to eat coyotes or getting ate by coyotes, one of the two. But we're back here at camp now. Oh, Whiskey Jack's floating around and Izzy's running around trying to get it. Oh, it's outsmarted her. It's floating around on the tree back there. On one of the tree branches. I don't know if you can see it or if it's even still there. It's on the log. I think that's it right there. Yeah. Let's get some water. Alright, so we got another camp project done. We made a chair, so now we got the bench, the chair, the table, the smoker, and the tripod to hang game. We got the water catch out back, so we're definitely... Oh, and don't forget about the handy chopping block that we slugged out here. So we're definitely starting to get there in terms of the camp for this wild camp location. It's nice to do a couple projects every time we come out. It just saves you from packing more stuff. The more you craft, the less you have to bring, even if you're wild camping. So that's definitely a plus. It also lets you get out of the smoke sometimes. If the smoke is hell-bent on going to the bench, then you can just change up location and go into the chair and even maybe move the chair around to wherever you please. Yeah, good stuff. So I think we're planning on a night hunt tonight. Yep. What's that?
There is.
So I don't know, start thinking about getting geared up for that.
Hey, it's Marsha. I'm headed out to my tree stand. I'm hoping I'll be able to see something and shoot a buck tonight. Just gonna walk out there and get set up. Wish us luck. This is where I'm hoping they'll come out and mosey on up to where I'm sitting. They gotta get nice and close with the bow. It's a nice night, but it's pretty windy. So here's the tree stand. I'm afraid of heights, so it's not the easiest thing. But we'll get the bow up there and all my stuff, and it'll be worth it if we get a buck. It's hard to see much from down on the ground. Where the height gives you an advantage, it's harder for the deer to spot you and smell you.
Here all this time I've been thinking we've been pretty safe in this particular location. Although this track is old, it just goes to show you, you are never truly safe no matter where you are. That kind of changes the complexity of what was going on last night a little bit. You gotta love wild camping. There is some more old track here, but all of it is pretty old. It is a little surprising though. I've never thought that we'd have bear here, but it assumes that I've lulled myself into a false sense of security.
Right, we got up in the tree stand. It's pretty hot now, especially with all my winter stuff on, but the temperature drops off really fast. So I like to come out early because it's pretty noisy getting up here. Gives everything a chance to settle down before they come out. So I'm just getting ready to sit for a while before hopefully we start seeing stuff and they mosey on close. Close enough to get.
Alright guys, so what we've done is we've crawled into a brush pile. Now we're gonna just sit here and wait it out. Hopefully we'll get another opportunity like we had the other night when we hunkered down behind that stump. Same as that camp, you never know unless you try.
I still have my bow hanging down there, tied onto a rope, and then pull it up once you get in here, because this thing is a little sketchy for me who doesn't like heights. Got my toque for when it gets cold, my drink to pass some time, and then you just sit and watch over this beautiful scenery, waiting for a deer. My hopes is he comes right there, but I won't hold my breath. Just see where they pop out and hope for the best. It's all about luck right now. No way to call them in. Just have to sit still and hope they cross my path where I want them. But I love sitting up here looking at all of this. Especially watching the sunset over there. The wind seems to calm down a bit, so it's going to be a nice sit. Hopefully something will come out in a little while and I'll put the camera back on it.
So there's some deer that are out between me and Marsha. What I'm gonna try to do is just slowly make my way along. And I'm hoping that I can get them to push over in her direction. I don't want to push them hard. I just want them to saunter over that way. So hopefully it'll close the gap before it gets too dark, and she'll be able to take a shot at one of them. So that's the plan. I'm just gonna keep moving up slowly like this and hopefully push them into her. So I just stumbled across this pretty cool little find here. Not bad. Don't know what we can use it for, but we'll think of something. That's about all I can do for the pushing. It's starting to get dark now. I don't want to have them riled up. They gotta kind of just be going in that direction. And then, boy, when I go like this, it looks like a beautiful spring day out yet. But, I just wanted them heading kind of that direction. Whether they'll stay going that direction, I don't know. But that's about all I can do to help coax them along in that direction. I didn't film any of it because it was kind of tricky enough as it was. But, I don't know, maybe she got some footage of them coming in or something. Or running by, or who knows. Alright. How's that for irony? 3 of them going right there. Our camp is just right there. It literally could have been harvested right out of camp. That's the way it goes. Who knows, I probably spooked these guys out of somewhere with all my tromping around. So, you guys can guess it. The hunt was unsuccessful this time. We seen them ones way back over by our shelter here. Thought about it. It's getting too dark. How about you?
Mine came across, but nowhere near close enough. I was going to take some shots of them with the camera, but my fingers were frozen, so I didn't get any of them crossing over.
Yeah, so I guess that's that for supper tonight. We're gonna have some grouse, or I'm gonna have a grouse. Marcia just wants to have pepperoni and
Noodles if you're cooking them, but if not, just pepperoni.
guess that's that.
Scratch that, I'm making my own noodles. And I'm making him some. And my fried pepperoni. That's what happens when he starts whining. What do you have to say about that?
How about I take your pepperoni?
You already did. Get away from my tiny piece of fire. Here's my noodles cooking. And my pepperoni. And Sean's chicken. Okay, bye. This is how Sean warms us up. How are you feeling under there?
Warm. That's the benefits to a big fire pit.
Good morning, Sean. Oh, Graceful Pete. Already got the fire going, the coffee going. And he's just dragging it out of bed. How was your sleep?
If you wouldn't snore all night, it'd be a lot better.
Oh, well, I had great sleep. Thanks for asking. My mountain was disassembled, and I slept flat. Accidentally started his bale stick thing on fire. There's nothing. So we're boiling water down here today.
That's the key.
Good morning. For our latest adventure, we have a new piece of gear. For this sweet fella's birthday, he's only 22. He was begging and begging and begging for a new piece of equipment. And that is this, that his lovely wife bought him. It is a DJI Mavic 2 Zoom. You'll see some of its shots in this video. Anything you'd like to add, honey?
Well,
Speak loud and concise.
she hit her head. She's not mentally handicapped. She just kind of, ow.
Oh, very nice. I'm gonna keep this. Wrong, wrong.
Where we found you sometimes. Well, guys, it's unfortunate, but we're gonna have to start the takedown camp now. It's never a fun part, but it has to happen. So we're gonna start on doing that now. We've got the Ranger here, as you guys have seen from the drone footage and other footage, and we are going to set to breaking camp apart. I've been out here for quite a few days. Marcia's been here for a while now, so we've accumulated some stuff out here. So it's going to take a little while to pack things up. So we're going to get going on that now, and yeah, we're going to film that one with my GoPro in 4K, whatever the rest of the numbers are that go with that 1080 4K or whatever it is, and or is it 720? I don't remember. Whatever the high quality one is, we got the new little GoPro there, so we want to try that sucker out and see how well the footage works with that one too. So when we break camp, that's what we're going to be using. Good stuff.
Good stuff. That's all we got is good stuff.
All right.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. Sometimes you need to go and take a step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell. You and me.
Well, guys, thanks for joining us for another adventure. Got everything packed up at this point. We're just going to relax a bit and then head on out of here. But thanks for joining us with this. I hope you guys learned something new with the wild game hunting to go with our wild camping. We harvested some big game. It's been a good trip. There's not really too much else to say about it. We played with some new gear, some new equipment. You guys seen that, so that's pretty cool. Exhausted every single battery we have. What am I missing?
Happy birthday to this sweet guy.
Turning 21?
22.
22? So yeah, we're going to shut the camera off now and get out of here. I just wanted to let you guys know, this is what happens when you bring your wife wild camping. You see that? This is why we can't do the hike style camps, because yeah, you see that 36-inch foam mattress in there, and I bought her because she complained.
Comfort is key when you're in the bush.
Yeah, so she's got herself a entourage there of comfort items for our wild camp. So it's more like a wild glamp. We'll call it wild glamping with Marcia, my wife. All right.
And just remember, when you're out in the bush, a comfy wife is a happy wife. You gotta sleep good to keep coming back.